Hey guys, how is everybody doing, and welcome back to another episode of the automation campaign. In the last episode, we started trying to rebuild the company after experiencing some major losses, and yeah, we are pretty much just going to continue doing that this episode and hope that it works out. So there are a couple cars that I want to revive or make new, and that is the Regale and the Sposter. And now I have no idea how exactly I would do that because there's not very many van bodies, but the Regale, I have a very good idea as to how I'm going to do that. Right, so when it comes to the Regale, I think I'm going to use this 3-meter long body, this 3-meter long coupe body, but with this 3-meter long sedan body. Because we've got these two bodies here which we're using for the middle class and the lower class cars. And then we've got this body over here which we could use for the more premium car because it's a bit more rounded, it looks a bit more upper class, and I think we can work with this. So we'll do partial aluminium, monocoque, we'll do normal steel for the time being. Depends on if we can facilitate getting some corrosion resistant stuff in there. But let's do front longitudinal. Let's do a McPherson strut on the front and multi-link on the back for some added comfort. Up the quality a little bit, and yeah, let's choose an engine. So what I was thinking is using the 2.5 litre engines, so the turbo and the non-turbo variant, and also putting in the 2.2 litre variant for the lower spec version of this car. So let's go with the big engine for this build which we're doing, and then I'll make some variants of the other two engines on the side. And here it is, and what we're going to do is we're going to make it rear wheel drive. We're going to do, I think we're just going to make this car automatic, make every single variant automatic, apart from maybe the 2.2 litre, because that will otherwise steal a lot of cells away from the more expensive variant. So we'll do a manual on the 2.2 litre variant. We'll do a 5-speed automatic gearbox, and it has a top speed of about 235, so we'll limit it to 220 or 210, because I believe that has some weird cutoff thing in this game where you can get better fuel economy. But in terms of spacing, we'll leave that for now. We'll use an open diff. We'll use radial hard long life tires, and they're a bit wide, so let's do 215s all around. I think that's still a bit wide for this car, but we'll have to do 20-inch rims. Wow, that's huge for this time. We'll do 19-inch. It's still very big. We'll do alloy rims. Solid discs on the front and solid discs on the back. We'll do 2 pistons on the front. We'll do a semi-clad under tray. And in terms of interior, we're going to go premium, and we're going to go premium CD because we finally have CDs now. So we'll do variable hydraulic power steering, and we'll do traction control and ABS. In terms of safety, always maximum safety, and when it comes to the springs and dampers, we'll just use the same setup we've used for every single other car, and it's looking pretty good right now. So we've got premium budget, we've got family premium. Let's throw a quick preset onto there that we can see a little bit better where we stand. So the brakes are not powerful enough, so they need to be bigger. We can make these ones bigger, we can make these ones bigger. So I think we should be fine with that. So 320 millimeters on the front, 280 on the back, and yeah. All that we need to do now is try and get the drivability line a little bit further down and tune the suspension a little. Well, tune the suspension a little bit, the gearbox, and all those other little things. Increase some quality on some parts of the car, and we should be onto a winner here. So let's get on with it. Here we have it, our premium car for the brand, the Regale. I've decided to keep the name the Regale, and I think it looks really good. I mean, it looks really premium, I'll put it that way, compared to pretty much all the rest of our cars in the brand. And I'm really happy with the way that this car turned out, honestly. It looks a little bit Peugeot-esque, I found, but I think it works. So yeah, I mean, I've tuned it to be very good in pretty much any premium sector. We managed to get about 181 competitiveness score in the family premium, which is really good actually. And let's have a look at the chassis. So would it be worth adding things in like corrosion resistance? I don't think it is. I think we're just going to keep normal steel for this car. We'll increase the quality by 1 as well. And yeah, I think this car is going to be a major success when it does release in like 10 years time. But yeah, I'll get to making the variants now, and I'll be back with you guys shortly. So here we have it. We have our non-turbo 5-cylinder, and we have our 2.2 litre 4-cylinder engine, which is also a manual gearbox to try and keep up sales for the more expensive cars. But if this thing sells, then it sells, which it'll always be a nice thing when it sells. So we're going to go and replace the Regale, the original one that we had before. And I mean, we do have steel presses. I think we could do a steel chassis. I think that means I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, we'll keep the car as it is for now. I'll try and figure it out for the future. But we'll be producing a healthy amount of cars in per month, which is always great to see. And they're only about $1,000 to produce per car, which means we could make some really nice profits. We're going to keep the factory as it is, which means we could make some really nice profits on this car. So having a look at it here, we need to try and keep the total engineering time down. So what we're going to do is we are going to make it a bit more reliable, because reliability is our big thing. We're going to make it more manual in the production of this car. I think that doesn't affect it too much in terms of the actual interest for the car, which means we can get we can get a lower engineering time. We're going to put some more work into this car, which I don't think they'll want, but it means we can do we can have a lower production engineering time. And we're going to put a load of money into it so we can optimize it and make the car even more reliable. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to aim for about 72 months, which is 6 years. So about this. I'm happy with the score that these cars get. The engines, we don't need to fiddle around with the engines too much, and we're already making a really nice healthy profit just from the original prices of these cars. So I'm going to price these cars now, and yeah. So here we have it, and this is looking really good actually. So we're making, in the first year alone, 2.5 billion in profit, which is very needed. And after that we'll be making some, not much more profit, but it'll be stable, and in that time we can focus on getting a replacement for this car, and the cycle will just continue like that. So yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to release this car, and we don't have a factory for the inline 5 yet, so we need to think about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate a loan, 200% the loan, which means we'll get, how much money will we get? We'll get some decent money, so we'll pay it back over a, let's do 84-month period, so it'll be about 17 million per month, which will be fine once these cars start selling, and we're going to sign off on this. Next, we want to try and get a replacement in for the Sposter, because we've been facelifting it way too much. So let's have a look. So we've got van bodies here, and they're all kind of terrible. I mean, no, I don't want to use any of these. This one might be alright, but I don't like it at all. This is the only realistic van body we could use, and it's from 1985, so I don't know how much that would hurt sales, but I mean, we'll give it a try. So steel, we'll do a ladder frame chassis, because it needs to be a more it needs to be more stable, not stable, more, it needs to be able to carry a lot. So front transverse, we'll do a solid coil on the front, and we'll do a solid axle leaf on the front. It's literally just going to be a workhorse van, it's not going to be much. So in terms of engines, I think what we're going to do is we're going to put, for the high end, we're going to put the 1.8 litre turbo. For the middle, we're going to do a 1.8 litre, and then we're just going to do a 1. Actually, let's do a 1.8 turbo and a 1.8, and we'll stick with that. We don't want to make too many variants of this vehicle. Alright, so it's going to be front engine, front wheel drive. It's going to be a manual gearbox with a 5-speed. It has a top speed of 180. I don't think we wanted to do 180, but we'll do it for now. We'll do an open diff. Radial long life, we'll stick with steel wheels. I think 15-inch is fine, and I think they're a bit wide actually. So we'll do 195s all round. That looks about alright. We'll do solid discs on the front and solid discs on the back as well, because this is going to be more of a heavy transport vehicle. So we're going to do actually no, we need to do a I'm going to do semi-clad under tray on the front, semi-clad under tray for the engine. We're going to do just the standard interior with a basic cassette. We're going to do hydraulic power steering with ABS, standard 90 safety, and progressive gas monotube, and a passive sway bars. And we've almost got it perfect on 100% drivability for the steering, which is crazy. So let's see if we can get it to 100%. So just increase the sway bars in the front, reduce them on the rear a little bit. Oh, we're really close. So one thing we definitely want to do is we want to increase the load capacity. I think that's a bit low for the size of this vehicle, and the brakes also need to be a bit bigger. So we're going to increase the suspension, the stiffness on the suspension a bit. In turn, also increase the damping. And let's see if we're pretty much at 100% at this point. It's got a very low roll angle, which is quite good for a vehicle like this, because you don't want it to roll too much. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 seats in the front. No, we'll do 3 seats in the front of this. This is going to be the more heavy delivery focused vehicle. And then we're going to go to brakes, make the brakes bigger. Or hopefully they can... No, we need to do 2 piston on the front, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. We'll increase the brakes on the rear as well. We'll do 260s on the rear, and we're going to... Actually, I don't want it to be that much softer, so... I think it's fine the way it is. I think a little bit more braking never hurts. So we'll do maximum size brakes in the front, 270s on the rear, and all in all, I think this has turned out pretty nice so far. So let me do some fiddling with this vehicle, and we'll see what we can come up with. Alright, so here we have our Sposter van, our new one, and it looks really good, I think, but yeah, no, I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. And the cool thing is, it has functioning hood vents. I've never been able to incorporate that into any design whatsoever, and it's worked on this vehicle. So out of all vehicles, it was a van, but it is what it is. I'm really happy with the way that this turned out, and yeah. Let's get on to making the variants, and I'll be back with you guys shortly. And one thing else I'm going to do, I'm going to trial a medium-sized variant of this vehicle as well. So it's a bit smaller, And I mean, it's identical in every single way. I did forget on the original car, on the original, to put the badging on, the blinker, and I think that was, and the fuel filler cap. But each variant has them now, and they all look identical, apart from this one's a bit smaller. And another thing I've noticed is that the standard suspension, so the standard springs, are way better for transport vehicles or delivery vehicles. So I've decided to put standard springs on every single vehicle, every single Sposter. But yeah, here we are, and they've all been made. They all are pretty good, I think. So let's have a look. So we're going to replace the Sposter. We're going to let's have a look how big the factory is for this vehicle, because I can't imagine it's huge. So let's produce all of them. To be fair, there are a lot of vehicles being produced here. So what kind of factory have we got? So we've got a medium 3 factory. I think we're going to stick with that for the time being. I think that's a bad idea though. I'm not entirely sure, but we don't have the money necessarily to upgrade this vehicle. To upgrade the factory, sorry. And yeah, let's have a look for the time being. So it's making some profit, but we'll need to do some tweaks in the engineering. So we'll make it a bit more reliable. And well, we want to try and keep the production when it releases as short as possible. I mean, 3 years, that's already really short. So we'll optimize it like this, and I think that should be all right. I mean, we could have made it shorter, but we want the vehicle to be good as well, so let's price it about 7,000 for the turbo, and let's have a look. So 6.2 thousand. I mean, you guys have seen this plenty of times already. And then 5.5, just for an example, and then I'll go and tweak it from here. Alright, so this looks about the best I can get it to right now. Once this vehicle releases, and if it sells well and we're making enough money, we'll upgrade the factories for this so we can keep selling more of them. But they're selling they're about the same per vehicle, so this is fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to sign off on this vehicle, we're going to take out a huge loan again, and we're going to sign off. And yeah, that should be the rebuild of the company done. I mean, we do still have to put the 5-cylinder into production, so what we're going to do is we're going to, well, once we get nearer to the time, we'll put the 5-cylinder in to replace the V6. This one is the one we've already done, and this one also needs to be remade. So I mean, how many engines does this actually produce? Let's configure this for the 5-cylinder, just for a taste, just to see what it's actually like. And how many engines would we have to put an aluminium foundry into it, and let's see how many engines we could theoretically make. So not many at all. No, this isn't worth it. I was thinking maybe we could put some engines into this, but no point, because we're not producing any. So we've got the 1.4 litre performance variant, the 4-cylinder eco variant. We've got the 5-cylinder engine here, and we've got the 3-cylinder engine here. I think that's actually all of them, isn't it? I'm not sure if I made another one, but this one will be used just for whatever needs not very many engines. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to end the episode there. Next episode we'll see if this has really worked, and if it has, great. If it hasn't, then well, we've lost the company, which, sitting here saying that is quite scary, but I'm sure we can make it. So I would like to thank everybody for watching this episode. It's been a pleasure making it for you all, and I hope you have an amazing day. Goodbye.